Custom crosshairs have spiked in popularity recently, with a number of pro players starting to use them. But there's also a lot of misinformation about them, so I'm here to clear it all up and let you know everything you need to know about custom crosshairs. First things first, is it against the terms of service? The answer is no. It's a fair question to ask since Epic's terms of service are vague enough to include nearly everything. But considering it doesn't interact with game files at all and it's only a visual overlay, it's safe to assume it's allowed. If this was against TOS, then all overlays, using stretch resolution, and even changing your NVIDIA color settings would also be prohibited. And thus far, Epic has never said anything about it being against terms of service, despite some of their most popular creators broadcasting this. Now that we know it's allowed, is it any good? 100%. Most other competitive shooters have a way to customize your crosshair built into the game, because having visual clarity is very important for aiming. Even if you're used to it at this point, Fortnite has a lot of visual clutter. If you slow down any of the clips you have, you'll find a lot of times where your crosshair starts to blend into the background. When you're watching in slow motion, you'll be able to find your crosshair, sure, but in real time, losing the position of your crosshair for even a split second can throw off your shot entirely. Not to mention, optic attachments have had a really bad visuals bug for at least a year now, but your bullets still go to the center of your screen instead of where your gun is pointing. So having some sort of custom crosshair will help you not lose it as often. There are many methods to get a custom crosshair, but the ones I'll show you don't impact your performance and are completely free. First, the easiest one is to just check if your monitor has them built in. I have LG monitors, so I know they have solid ones built into theirs, but a lot of monitors either don't have any or have horrible ones. I had an Acer monitor before, and I will never understand why these brands don't just stick to the simple crosshairs. Anyway, if you don't have any good built-in ones on your monitor, we'll use software instead. The way good software custom crosshairs work is with Windows Game Bar. It's like Microsoft's built-in overlay, kinda like NVIDIA Shadowplay. To open Game Bar, just press the Windows key plus G. If it doesn't open for you, it's because you have it disabled in your settings, so you have to go re-enable it. Once you're in Game Bar, you can open widgets for all kinds of stuff. And if you pin something, like this performance analyzer, it'll stay on your screen when you close the Game Bar. But we're not using any of the widgets except for a custom crosshair one. So close any of the widgets that might be open already. Now close Game Bar the same way you open it with Windows G, then open the Microsoft Store and search for a custom crosshair. There are a lot of options. The most popular one is Crosshair X, probably because they sponsor the most people, but it's not free. And Crosshair V2 is made by the same company, and it's pretty much just a trial version of Crosshair X. It doesn't work in full screen mode either. The one you want is called Custom Crosshair, all one word. Once you've installed it, open Game Bar, open the widget, and pin it. If it's not centered already, click Center Screen. Now go to your widget settings, personalization, and turn both the transparency sliders to 100%. The last step is to make sure you have click-through disabled. It's this icon next to settings. It's important you have this set right, because if you don't, then you won't be able to click the middle of your screen at all. But now it should be all set up for you. Some other settings you want to change though are to turn all the recordings off and hide all the notifications for stuff. And there you have it. You can now set anything you want to your custom crosshair. It just has to be an 100 by 100 pixel PNG. Speaking of, which custom crosshairs should you use? There's no best crosshair, but there are some guidelines you should definitely use when choosing yours. The first is to not block Fortnite's crosshair. When using a custom crosshair, you shouldn't turn off the in-game one, just put the custom one on top of it. The in-game crosshair conveys way too much important information to turn it off. It tells you exactly when your weapon gets its first shot accuracy back, whether or not you can build in specific areas of the map, and the current spread of your weapon. If you're, for example, flying through the air chasing after someone, seeing what the spread of your weapon is important to determining whether or not you should try shooting them or waiting until you're closer. And even weapons of the same class have very different spreads depending on the rarity, attachments, etc. The second guideline is to not make it too bulky where it's blocking what you're trying to see. If you want a dot in the middle, it should be small. If you want a plus, it shouldn't be too wide. And the last guideline is about the color. The main purpose of the custom crosshair is so that you can see it easier in hectic situations, so you want a bright color. But hectic situations usually include a lot of fresh builds and edits, so avoid picking a blue or white crosshair since it'll blend in with the build. Other than that, it's just preference. I'm using a small green X. Other common ones include hollow circles, dots, and pluses. There are a lot of resources for finding crosshairs, but I think it's easier to just make the one you want. Kovacs website has a free crosshair maker where you can pretty easily make any crosshair you want. Then once you've made it, you can download it from there and use this website to make sure it's exactly 100 by 100 pixels. All this website does is add empty space around the outside so that it's the right size. You just upload the crosshair you downloaded from Kovacs' site and then change the space size so that the output is 100 by 100. If you skip this step, then when you upload the custom crosshair, it'll stretch the image and make it really blurry. I'll leave links to both of the websites in the description. The last step is to open up the game bar, go to the widget and hit select image. Pick the crosshair you downloaded and you're all set. Completely free custom crosshair that works even in full screen mode. Thanks for watching, and I swear I'm not gonna take 2 months to make the next video. Maybe just one.